Hello, welcome to the Horror of It All movie podcast. I'm Eric. Just wanted to address right at the beginning of this video. I wanted to thank you for all the subscribers. I surpassed 100, which is pretty big. I know. There's podcasts and videos and people on YouTube that have like millions of subscribers, which I don't think I'll ever get there, but it's a huge deal for me, and it's slowly but surely going up. So if you're new to this video and you like what you see throughout the video or any of my other videos or podcasts or rankings, give me a subscribe. I really would appreciate it. Give me a like. Either way, both is great. One or the other is great too. But I just wanted to address that right away. I wanted to also address all the people that continue to comment. There's even a few that comment that have been around for as long as I can remember, for the most of the time I've been here, and it's nice interacting with you. Some of them are YouTubers, some of them are just fans or fans of movies or whatever. You know who you are. Just want to personally thank you guys. But yeah, thanks everybody for subscribing, especially the ones that get all the way to the end of the video. That really helps me out. But yeah, thank you. Another thing I wanted to point out was this new awesome shirt I have here. If you can get all that in there. It's a Bad Taste Video. It's a podcast, if you're not familiar with it, and they cover a bunch of different things, horror and VHS and stuff like that. The main host has been there for pretty much it has been there for the whole time. It's his podcast. People have changed. The current lineup is him and another guy, which he joined a little while ago. They do some of the down and dirty horror on VHS, or you can watch it either way. They don't care, but he goes for his VHS collection. Be it super gory, super low budget, shot on film, and be it more well-known movies. They cover it all, and each each episode, because they're on Twitch now too, so they do live stuff there. I'm not endorsed by them or anything. Like, they're not that level or anything, but they're just fun. I wanted to point it out. I wanted to give them a shout out, in case one of them might watch this. I don't know. But even if they don't, I just wanted to shout it out to let people know. If you're into that, well, go check them out. You can check them out wherever you listen to your podcasts. So yeah, anyway, after that 3-minute ramble almost, I'm trying something different that I've been wanting to try, and I figured why not for the 100-plus subscriber episode. That's kind of what this is, kind of what it is, and it's the first one that I've done since then. And finally do a video about what I've been watching. Let me know in the comments if once I do it, if you're into that and want to know those things. I usually tack it on to the end of unboxings, but I really wanted to try to do a video. I'm going to do 2 back-to-back videos. My next video will be right behind this, and that will be an unboxing. This has similar things. I'm going to go through a bunch of stuff I've been watching since my, I guess, last video, as well as maybe a couple more thrown in. And then I'm also going to go into, not really an unboxing, but sort of, some of the stuff that I've got recently. New pickups, so to speak. So if you're into that, let me know in the comments. That'd be great. And any of the movies I mentioned, if you want to talk about those, I'm all for that too. So it's definitely a mixed bag, but if anybody knows me, I'm a mixed bag. And even if you don't know me, welcome. I'm a mixed bag of movies. First and foremost, I'm into like horror and exploitation of all time, really. My favorite decades, yes, are 70s and 80s, sure. But I do like stuff from all decades. I love the 90s, even if it's just not horror. I love indie movies in the 90s and stuff. But I also figured in this video, you can kind of get to know me a little bit more. If you're new to this channel and don't know it, my favorite label is Vinegar Syndrome. I do tons of videos on them, be it rankings or just favorites before sales, which look out for that. Before the Black Friday sale, I definitely will have some kind of something out. I don't know what it is yet. Another video from Vinegar Syndrome that I did was my top 20 favorite partner label releases up until that point. I think it was maybe April. So I will be doing more of those, and it would be stuff leading after that. But yeah, I'm super into collecting movies. I love movies in general. It's like my favorite thing next to music. But all over the place because I may be a horror guy, but Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time. And when I say that, I mean Back to the Future 1, 2, 3. It really is one movie. I know that sounds crazy. I told Leah Thompson when I met her that last year that she, or was it earlier this year? Doesn't really matter whenever you watch this, but she was like, "Wow, really?" And if I had to pick out of the three, fine, it would actually be Back to the Future 2. Yeah, crazy. I know, or maybe it isn't. I don't know. I'm also a sequel guy. I guess a self-proclaimed one. I'm not always the one that's gonna go for the original. I know all the things people say, and I respect them. And of course, like there wouldn't be this if there wasn't this. Things like that. I understand that, but I'm also my own person, and I can like what I want. Like that's kind of how I take it. My favorite slasher, that giant, beautiful poster that came with the box set from Scream Factory. The Friday the 13th franchise is my favorite slasher is Jason. Second favorite, close second favorite would be Michael Myers. But super into Jason. I have a Jason tattoo. I have a bunch of different tattoos actually. What are some that you might... I got a Fulci Lives tattoo. Yes, that's Thundercats. I know, and also tattoo people will be like, why are they going this way and that way? I'm also weird there, too. I won't go into that. I got the Thorn from Halloween. I got the Beyond symbol there. But yeah. Vinegar Syndrome tattoo, if in case anybody's... I wanted to point that out. I have before. That's the film reel with the Horns t-shirt / hoodie from a long, long time ago. Still have both, and I wear them all the time. The sweatshirt's falling apart. The hoodie's falling apart. But thankfully, if anybody is into Vinegar Syndrome as I am, or you're whatever, their new shit for October, I am so fucking excited. And I almost sound like a broken record to myself because I say that all the time, really. But October, they fucking killed it, man. And there's so many good partner labels, so maybe comment below too. Like, what are some of the stuff you got? I ordered all the Vinegar Syndrome package, like the bundle. I got the Picorama, and I got my 4 staples as well as a couple other partner labels. And if you don't know, my staples are Fun City, Agfa, Culture Shock, and Saturn's Core. I dabble in some other ones. I'm super excited for Amityville Curse. I know some people are one way or the other with that, it seems, but I really like that movie. I haven't upgraded it since VHS, so it's going to be really fun. And I'm also on the side of the 4Ks that are coming out. I'm all for those too, man, because if they're going to do a significant upgrade, who better to do it than Vinegar Syndrome? I know some people say, like, oh, well, I have a Blu-ray or I have whatever. And if you're good with that, that's cool too. But the Amityville, I've heard some people say one way or the other. Some people say, like, I'm a huge Amityville fan. I love the box set that they put out. But putting out Amityville Horror on 4K, to me, is huge. And, yes, again, there is a Blu-ray. But this one blows that Blu-ray out of the water. They have special features, if that's your thing, from all over the world on this release, as well as new shit. So, super excited for that stuff. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I know there's tons of copies of that. I have tons of copies of that. I've had it all the way back to VHS and Laserdisc and tons of DVDs and tons of Blu-rays, and now we'll have it on 4K. Look at the fucking special features on that. They killed it. It just goes on for days. And they did like 8 of their own? Like, come on. That's just great. What are some others that they added this month that I was super excited about? Trying to think off the top of my head, but yeah, that ran a little long. I know I'm 10 minutes in, and some people have probably already tuned out, and I understand and I respect that. But I just figured, hey, in case anybody was curious, kind of get to know me a little bit. I know I talked a lot about Vinegar Syndrome, so to speak. I mean, I didn't talk about necessarily personal life or anything like that kind of stuff, but this isn't really what the channel's about. But yeah, I have some stuff that I've been watching lately, and I'll go through it, let you know what I thought, give a kind of loose review, I guess. I'm not really a big review guy. If you can tell anybody that's been subscribing to my channel and following me, that I'm not really one to do a lot of individual reviews. So I try to do what you've been watching, something different for me, and put a bunch in one video. Roadhouse VSU. Awesome, amazing. Even my wife's excited. I was like, hey, they crossed over into like your world, because she's a huge Patrick Swayze fan. And come on, that is great. My absolute favorite coming in October from Vinegar Syndrome is Don't Open Till fucking Christmas. Don't Open Till Christmas is one of my favorite slasher movies of all time. I think it's so underrated. I've had a DVD for 20 years now, and I'm so glad to upgrade it. I'm just so excited. I watch it every Christmas, or I watch it whenever I want, really. I'm not really that kind of guy either. Like, I don't wait for certain seasons to watch things, but there are certain ones that I like for certain reasons. For instance, The Shining I like to watch in the winter, But I'm also not the kind of guy that is, 31 days, 31 movies. I watch more than that on a regular basis, so I don't do this every year, but one year, a few years ago, I did a 31 days, and I think my total ended up being 126. So I went a little overboard on purpose because I wanted to see how many movies I could possibly watch in October. So yeah, I'll stop rambling. Get right to that. I know some have tuned out. Thank you for still being here if you're still here. Let's get right into it. What I've been watching. The last movie I actually watched is the first one I'm going to talk about. I've been meaning to watch this for a long-ass fucking time, and I've probably seen it years ago. I don't fully remember, but Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. This is one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen, but it was a lot of fun. Good, what you're going to get yourself into, a good example. Even Maxim magazine, remember Maxim, says the 4th greatest B movie of all time. Linnea Quigley's in it. It's directed by Fred Olen Ray, and it's basically just about a really loose, silly movie, but played straight. About these, well, it's in the title. They're chainsaw hookers. They get men and they kill them with chainsaws. And Gunnar Hansen's in it, so it can't be all bad. But it's a breeze. It's 75 minutes. There's some good special features on here. There's a couple featurettes, but I had fun with it. I wouldn't say it was like great or anything. Some people might think it's great just because of, I don't want to call it bad, but bad in a good way. So yeah, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. It's something else. This one I don't remember if I mentioned on another video, and I apologize for anybody that follows all of them, but The Incredible Melting Man from Vinegar Syndrome. They absolutely killed it on this 4K, man. There's so many good special features, and of course they killed it. It's Vinegar Syndrome, but there's so many great special features, and I already loved this movie. This was another one that was an upgrade, a 4K upgrade that some people, if you're good with the Blu-ray, that's awesome. But I'm all about, are you giving me more shit? I'm all for it. So yeah, it's basically about this guy who came back from space and ended up getting this, let's see. Well, the first ever voyage to the rings of Saturn, an unexpected phenomenon takes a hold of an astronaut and his crew, burning all but Steve to a crisp. Somehow, able to return to Earth, Steve awakens at the hospital bed and discovers his body is disintegrating. So you proceed from there, and come on. Of course, it's, who did the effects? Rick Baker, I believe? I don't want to get that wrong. Yes, one of Rick Baker's earlier effects looks so amazing in 4K. And if anybody's curious, some people have commented before on releases. This is Region A. I didn't try it to see if it was unlocked, but it's Region A. Next one from Fun City is got to be one of my absolute favorite movies from Fun City. The only thing I can't decide, and I'm not going to say what it is because that'll give stuff away, is which ending I prefer. Because there's an ending in the movie, but then there's like an alternate ending, and they talk about that and the reasoning for it. But it's pretty talky. It's just a drama. It's basically, it has Hal Helbrook and Louise Fletcher, who died recently, Natural Enemies. One of the greatest dramas I've ever seen. I'm not going to say whether anything actually happened. This is 1979. And it's basically the tagline, I guess it's a tagline, kind of says what the basis of the movie. Today, Paul Stewart is planning to kill his wife, his children, and himself. And he proceeds through the movie to just talk to different people and kind of sneak it in there, but not make it necessarily sound like he's going to do anything, or he is, or not. May not be for everybody because it's very talky, but if a movie grabs my attention and it's interesting, you can talk all fucking day long. I don't give a shit. But Natural Enemies, highly, highly recommend this. So good. And if you're into Fun City, you probably already got it anyway. Alright, the ones in my head, kind of like that, are the ones when I do unboxings and I'm like, have I talked about this? Because I've showed it before. I don't think I've talked about this before, but VHS Hit Fest, #1, Corn Shucker. Super, super, super low budget, and if that's not your thing, well, then it's probably not your thing. But I was into it. I thought that guy was kind of creepy. And there's not very many special features. There's an audio commentary, an interview with the director, and a music video and a still gallery. It's a breeze, 63 minutes. The original 16mm elements were lost. All that it remains is a VHS. So please be advised that the transfer quality is confirmed by the limitations of the format. It's weird. It's something else. It's David Lynch-esque, as some people have been talking about it. But I don't know. I think the guy's just weird and creepy. And basically, it's just Cornshucker is a mythical creature who has lived simply and peacefully with nature, but now he is desolate in urban sprawl. With nowhere else to go, he is forced to deal with, just outlandish townsfolk and food supply diminishing. It's an interesting little flick, I guess you would say. I'm glad I got it. I got #2. I don't know if VHS Hit Fest, and I know some people are like, is it VHS Shit Fest or is it VHS Hit Fest or VH Shit Fest? It's VHS Hit Fest for Vinegar Syndrome, because I watched an interview on Disconnected. Definitely check out his channel if you're not already. He did an interview with the guy who does VHS Hit Fest. But I believe he explained it like it was VH Shit Fest when he did like VHS, but now he's venturing out into Blu-rays, and Vinegar Syndrome didn't want to put that on their website, I guess, so it made it so it does look like VHS Hit Fest. I don't care either way, honestly, but it's an interesting label. The second one is, what is it, Blood Hunter or some shit? Again, never heard of it. It's one of those movies that's so obscure that people can't even find anything about it. It's either for you or it's not, basically. A more mainstream horror movie that I watched again recently. I've watched it multiple times. I was trying to think of how many, but multiple times since it came out. Still hadn't watched this. It came out 5 years ago from Scream Factory, but the remake of Dawn of the Dead. Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead from, I don't remember when this came out. It's early 2000s, 2004 maybe. Anyway, Dawn of the Dead is one of my absolute favorite horror movies of all time, like at the top. I'm talking right there with The Shining and stuff. If you want to know that, I do a ranking of that that's kind of a crossover from my brother's channel. Another shout out to that, The Horror Inside. He doesn't do stuff as frequently as he used to, but he's got a lot of good stuff on there. And we did, it's long, but we all did our top 5 favorite horror movies of all time, and it's on there. I'm not going to say where, but this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the remake of Dawn of the Dead. Now, when this came out, I went to the theater with said brother, as I was talking about, when he was much younger, and we saw it at the movie theater. I remember genuinely liking it, but unfortunately, it is one of those movies that every time I watch it, I like it a little less. But kind of gave a little more fresh perspective to it when I watched it with my oldest son recently, and which is what I'm talking about. And I liked it a little bit better. I took it for its own merits and things like that. So it was a new, fresh thing, almost close to how when I originally saw it. It just is a pet peeve of mine with fast zombies. To me, those are infected, but these are supposed to be zombies. It's entertaining. I'll give it that. I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad to me in a, bad or good or bad way. It's good. It's good for what it is. Not a favorite remake, definitely. Hell of a lot better than the fucking Day of the Dead remakes that they've tried to do, and they tried. But, yeah, I won't go into that. But, yeah. If you haven't checked out the remake of Dawn of the Dead, check it out. I do say check it out of curiosity. If you don't mind fast zombies, or infected, as I call them, even though they're not really that in this movie. They're more supposed to be zombies. It just kind of bugs me when it's the George Romero thing, and they did the same thing with Day of the Dead, but again, I don't want to go on that, with the remake of that. Especially the one, okay, maybe I will. Especially the one that they were supposed to be, finally, like, it has more of a budget. You might be able to do more of a script. And then the zombies are fast, and then it's just, I don't know, it just ruins it for me. But I know I should just get over it, like some people say. But, you like what you like. Do I recommend this? Sure, if you're curious, if you haven't seen it. But if you want to see Dawn of the Dead, watch George Romero's Dawn of the Dead for sure. Alright, controversial one in the middle here. It is all over the fucking internet and social media. And so much of it is what you would expect. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but it was what you would expect. People bitching and saying how horrible it is. People that were bitching of saying how horrible it's going to be before it was even out. People that, and I know it's going to give it away what it is now, hate Rob Zombie because that's a thing, and I hope I don't turn anybody off, but you know what? My opinion is my opinion. It's okay. You have yours. If you agree, great. If you don't, that's great too. Like, that's what makes us individuals. I am talking about Rob Zombie's The Munsters. My take on this movie is pretty simple. I absolutely loved and adored this movie, and I can't wait to watch it again. It's everything that I hoped it would be, and more. I thought everybody did great. I know. I can hear people in my head like, you're fucking crazy, this or that, blah, blah. It's a movie. Calm down. It's okay. I am a huge Rob Zombie fan, and I know Rob Zombie haters are like, well, it's probably why. No, if I don't like it, I don't like it. But I thought he did a great job. He is Rob Zombie, after all, and The Munsters is one of his favorite things of all time, so he wasn't going to fuck it up. And if people that thought he fucked it up, well, that's your opinion. I don't think he did, because if you watch the show, it's just goofy and fun and everything. And for the people that say, well, then why did he do it in color? He couldn't do it in black and white. They wouldn't let him. And when I say they, I don't know exactly who he was talking about, but I assume the studio. But yeah, I fucking love this movie. The special feature on it is great. Rob Zombie's special features are great anyway, like the behind the scenes. It's an hour-long featurette documentary-ish thing. It's not really a documentary. It's just behind the scenes thing for an hour that goes all the way from the first screen test, or not even makeup test of what's his name? Jeff Daniel Phillips, who played Monster, yeah, Herman. And I thought he did great. I thought his goofy, like, come on, that's Herman. I know, and some people like Fred Gwynn is Herman. That's cool too, man. I get it. Like, I mean, when I think of him, I think of Pet Sematary, but yes, he is Herman Munster. Nobody's taking that away. But I loved it. That's my 2 cents on it. If you're going to check it out, check it out. If you don't. Like, it's a very one or the other. I can't wait to watch it again. I'm going to watch it with my wife again very soon. Yeah, so I loved it. That's my take on it. I can't wait to watch it again. What I will mention after that, speaking of my wife, I don't own it because it was a streaming thing. I actually kind of had, I actually had fun watching it, especially with her, because I know how much she loves Hocus Pocus. And Hocus Pocus 2 came on to Disney Plus, and I watched it with her, and I had fun with that too. I wasn't a huge fan of Hocus Pocus, but I like it. I am interested to watch it on 4K because she bought it on 4K, so we'll probably watch that and maybe watch Hocus Pocus 2 again. It was silly. It was fan service, so to speak. It was for the fans. That's kind of what I got from it. Cast is pretty good. The younger girls were pretty fun. Like maybe that like my wife was saying, maybe that's how they'll continue. It's with the girls, and that would be fun too. But it's a light little thing for people who are like, people put it best, like it's for moms and kids. And I'm neither one of those things, but I am Mr. Mom sometimes. So you'll have that. And when I say that, I won't go into that, but it's just a nickname that I have sometimes. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun for what it was. This release I wanted to recommend from Synapse. You can still get it with the slipcase on Diabolic, I believe. Is Creature from Black Lake. I was hoping somebody would put this out. It is a Blu-ray, even though it's a black case, but that's Synapse does that. It was a fine Bigfoot movie. I liked it more than most, it seems, but I didn't love it or anything, but it would definitely be one that I'll watch again. It's basically just about these two guys that are super interested in the Bigfoot in the area, or the creature in the area. Speaking of Rob Zombie, it does have an early role from, what is his name? Dennis Fimple. He played Grandpa in House of a Thousand Corpses. Well, I guess I'll do it like I always do. Grandpa, and he's like, that's one of my favorite scenes. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling. I'm not even saying names, but you know what I mean if you've seen the movie. But yeah, this movie was good for what it was. Again, it would be something I would watch again. I thought everybody involved did a pretty good job. I thought the creature wasn't too bad. But yeah, not great, but it was fun. You know, I enjoyed myself with it. It does have an all-new featurette with Dean Cundy, so that's pretty cool. This is an upgrade for me, although I've never watched it. I have a VHS tape that I got when I got the haul from my favorite video store when they closed down. Shout out to my buddy Brian for helping me out with that. Because they said, hey, Eric, if you come and pick them up, you can basically take the horror section. So, yeah. And this was in it. I hadn't watched it yet, and I was glad to finally get it on Blu-ray. Looks great, especially in comparison from a VHS tape, because I do try to do that. I'll talk more about comparing in a minute. But yeah, I wouldn't say middle of the road. I'd say above average. Pretty good. I didn't. I had a good time with it. The last thing before a bit of a series of movies that I watched, I have seen Flesh for Frankenstein before. I have talked about it. It is one of my all-time favorite Vinegar Syndrome releases, which is on my last video about that. My top 40 favorite Vinegar Syndrome videos. So yeah, I fucked it up. Vinegar Syndrome releases of all time. Vinegar Syndrome releases. And this was in there. Why I mention this now is not for Flesh for Frankenstein, because I have seen that. And then when I watched this, I still watched the regular edition. Still absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite Frankenstein movies. But I had put it off for a while. Not just put it off, just I hadn't gotten around to it. I finally watched Flesh for Frankenstein in 3D. And if 3D is not for you, cool. If you don't mind 3D, this is one of the greatest 3D movies I have ever fucking seen. Now, a good example is, you see how the girl's like right here? I was laying on my bed when I was watching it. My TV's maybe, I don't know, 15 feet away, something like that, 10 feet away. I don't know. I've never measured it. No shit. Could swear to God that the girl on the gurney thing was basically hovering in front of the TV. Like, the 3D in this is so fucking good. It's probably... No, it isn't probably. It is the greatest 3D movie I've ever seen. There's a scene with bats. I know that's kind of a cliche one to throw in there, but they do it so well that it actually kind of made me do that. Like, wow. But I already loved the movie. Now I love it even more. Flesh for Frankenstein in 3D is the way to watch it. But if you don't like 3D or whatever, I don't have a 3D TV, so I did do the glasses. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your take, you see I wear glasses. I just put it over my glasses and kind of tuck it. It's fine with me. I don't mind 3D. I actually like 3D. I don't go out of my way to watch a bunch, but when I do, it's something like this, or Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. Either way, I'll watch it either way, but that one's pretty good too. But in comparison to any 3D movie I've ever seen, this is my favorite 3D movie. So fucking amazing. So amazing. I fucking loved it. Brings the horror off the screen and into your lap. No shit. Highly, highly recommend Flesh for Frankenstein in general, and in 3D. And if you haven't picked this up, I don't know. I honestly don't know if you can. I don't think you can. Maybe not, but love it. Alright, so the video's getting a little long, so I'll go through a couple things that I have got recently, and I will call it a podcast. Or, I don't know why I still call it a podcast, but these are some pickups that I've got recently. I don't know what to call it, or just releases I've bought. None of these I've watched yet. One of them I've seen before. No, two of them. Three of them. Anyway, Jacko, I finally got it. Unfortunately, I didn't get the slipcase. Makeflix put it out. My first order from Makeflix. It originally had a slipcover signed by Linnea Quigley. Didn't get it. My fault, though, because I always love the ones that are like, I missed out on it, and that sucks. But if you really want it, like, I'm one that's, I figure it out. Like, I just figure it out. This time, I didn't want to miss out on this one. And I'm talking about The Dead Next Door. That's the new art. Comes with a little poster. I did get the slip for this one, signed by the director. Fun little low-budget zombie movie that I haven't seen in forever. 78 minutes, so It's one of those that I call, like, that I was saying before, like I call it a breeze. But yeah, I've had it on DVD forever, and it comes with a shit ton of special features. But yeah, I don't know if they still selling this or not, but the movie in general, I recommend it. If low budget is fine with you, like super low budget type stuff. I don't remember if it was shot on video. No, Super 8. So it's still a lower quality, but it's a fun zombie movie from what I remember, and I'm super excited to check this one out. This one is not horror related whatsoever, but it is one of my favorite movies from the 1990s. It is Michael Keaton, Glenn Close, Marissa Tomei, Randy Quaid, and Robert Duvall in The Paper, directed by Ron Howard. I already had this on Blu-ray. I even paid up for the Blu-ray. Not really, but there was a bare bones Blu-ray, and I really liked it, and I was like, this probably isn't going to whatever. Well, Mill Creek just put it out with interviews with Ron Howard and the writers. So I love it enough. I had to get it, and I love these VHS slip cases. I think they're really fun and cool. But if you're not just into horror and you're into movies in general, it's a pretty good... I don't know what you would call it exactly. When I first saw it, it was at the video store I was just talking about before. It might have been in the comedies. I don't think I'd call it a comedy, and it's not really, it's kind of a drama. It's kind of it's a lighthearted drama with a little comedy, I guess. It's just a good movie. Like, I really like it. I do recommend it if not just for horror. I know I mainly talk about horror movies or exploitation, but I really like this movie. Finally finished, I believe finished, the Peter Walker into my collection. I did not have House of Whipcord, and I've seen a few of his movies, and I really enjoy them. I have one of the box sets. The other box, I had this on it, but I already had the other two, so I'm like, I don't need the box set, so I just got this. When they did, Kino's still doing their sale, by the way, if you're into Kino, because they have a wide range of different titles. There are horror in there, but there are all kinds of titles. I believe it's still going on. The rest of the stuff is what I got from them. And I just got it recently, so I mainly went on because I was like, fuck, they have 3 of the movies that newer releases that I've been wanting to get. I'm Dangerous Tonight, Tobe Hooper movie, saw it a long time ago, don't remember it, but I wanted to check it out again. It definitely has a bunch of special features on it, which is definitely cool. And like I said, it's directed by Tobe Hooper, and Dee Wallace is in it. Anthony Perkins is in it. Arlie, how do you say his name? Ermy? I'm probably butchering that name. But yeah, wanted to check it out again, and it was cheap, so checked it out. I always highly recommend their sales if you're kind of into movies in general, because their movies are super cheap with their sales, and they have them all the time. This stupid looking movie that I've always wanted to check out because I've seen this cover growing up at various video stores. Ants. It's basically about killer ants. There's 3 commentaries on it, and that's what the special features are. But yeah, don't know really anything about it. I just know I remember that cover. And I like creature type movies. I don't know what the fuck you would call that, but this one I wanted to add to my collection because I didn't have it, and it has a great cast: Ozzie Davis, George C. Scott, Tony Danza, and of course the reason and where I would put it in my Blu-ray collection with Jack Lemmon, one of my all-time favorite actors, right along with Walter Matthau, whether they're together or they're not. Let me know, for the people that do branch out in more things than just horror, and just are movie fans in general, if you love Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, I've been thinking kind of about doing a podcast episode with my wife and just talking about Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon movies, be it together and be it not, but kind of just go through them and what we think about them and maybe even rank them. I don't know. I don't think we'd rank them. Maybe just put them in order. Anyway, I'm talking about the remake of 12 Angry Men. There's no special features on it except a trailer. But yeah, 1997 movie. I remember really enjoying this. It's directed by William Friedkin, so yeah. The legendary director of Boys in the Band, French Connection, The Exorcist, Sorcerer, and Live and Die in L.A., as well as many others. But yeah, if you're into that stuff or different stuff to branch out, as you see, sorry about the glare, I hadn't opened that one, but it's Kino, so it's probably just, there's no reverse, but yeah, glad to add it to my collection. I'm going to finish this up because I'm getting 40 minutes in, and this is more of a unique type video. These movies I've been meaning to get. I'm glad I got the slipcover, but the FX and FX2, they sound really good. I haven't seen them. I've always meant to. Great cast. I mean, Brian Denny's in it, and Brian Brown. Not too familiar with him, but I know who he is. I've seen him in things. It's funny that it's two Brians, but they're spelled differently. But anyway, and Richard Franklin directed the second one. So I'm definitely interested in these. They sound really good. So yeah, you can pick this up at the sale currently if you watch this video at the beginning of October of 2022. But who knows? You could be watching this in the future and they're having a different sale. They have sales all the time. And the last thing I'm going to quickly talk about is a movie that I've always loved. One of my absolute favorite movies from Mario Bava. I was super excited to see Kino released it. There's not a lot of stuff on it. There are a couple of audio commentaries, and there's a couple trailers from hell, one with Joe Dante. I am talking about one of Mario Bava's, I guess it's not earlier, but if you're not familiar with Mario Bava, he came before all those greats like Lucio Fulci and Dario Argento and stuff. Lamberto Bava, maybe sacrilegious. Maybe I should admit it. I'm more of a fan of him, but I do love not some. I do love a lot of Mario Bava stuff, and this is one of them. Planet of the Vampires. I watched this as a kid and have not seen it since, and I've always wanted to see it again, and I'm super excited to see it in HD. I prefer the original cover, but yeah, 1965 Italian sci-fi movie. So yeah, a close encounter of the undead kind. Planet of the Vampires. So yeah, now that I blabbed on, I hate to end it on this, but it does come in the bundle. This silly little hat. It's from the movie. It's from the movie The Dead Next Door. It comes with it. I just came with it. I don't really care about it personally. I'm not a trucker hat guy, but anyway. Thanks for watching. If you're still watching towards the end of 43 minutes in, I thank you. Thank you so much. Look out for the next video, which is going to be an unboxing of my Vinegar Syndrome stuff for where are we? September. For September. So I'm excited to dive into that right after this. So if you watch this, check that out. Whatever. Like and subscribe if you would like. Check out my other videos, podcasts, rankings. I have all that stuff. Really helps me out. Give me a like. Get my subscriber up a little bit more. Recommend me to other people. Like, share, whatever. I know I said like a lot, but I really appreciate it. Whoever's still here, I really appreciate you. And again, anything I mentioned in the video, down in the comments. I love interacting with you guys. It's really, it's fun. Let me know some of the stuff that I have talked about. Maybe even some recommendations I haven't talked about in any of my videos that I may or may not know about. But yeah, anyway. Thanks for checking out this video. I know it's long. I know I rambled on a bit, but that's what I do. If you're here, you know. But yeah, wanted to mention this. As I said, Bad Taste Video. Go check them out. The back of the shirt's really cool. It says Gore Obsessed Splatter Freaks. Anyway, thanks for checking this out. Check out my other videos. Have a good one. This has been the Horror of It All movie podcast. I'm Eric. Until next time.